G'day friends, welcome to Inktober Day 1, 2018, or as I like to say, 2K-teen. That was just something that happened last year. I was in the on the search for a hashtag that didn't have like 4 million posts on it already, and it seemed like turning the 2017 into 2K17 was a lot better, and it just kind of stuck. So that's where I'm at with that. No massive reason behind it. I hope you enjoyed the intro. I was so stuck to know what to do for the intro ever since people said that they were enjoying the intro from last Inktober and last Halloween, the little intros that I made last year. I felt like there was a lot of pressure, and then I got really nervous about it. And full disclosure, I have a cat wine bottle that I was going to do the same thing. Last year I had that little light bulb glass jar, and I filled it with water and then dropped the ink in it. If you look closely at that video, you can see that it's on a stack of books and a paper trimmer. You can see that the whole thing was just kind of put together very haphazardly, but I liked it. It was a cute little intro. Either way, I didn't do that this year. I was going to with a cat wine bottle, and then I thought, well, this says nothing about what I'm doing for Inktober other than that I'm obsessed with cats, and I don't think that's the journey that I think I want everyone to go on for Inktober. So I decided to do a bunch of daisies as the intro because we're doing Daisy. Inktober is Daisy for me. She is her story, her character, all of her crazy little adventures that she talks about. Everything is so open for interpretation, and since we're going to see, essentially 31 different forms of Daisy over this month and her stories, I thought the intro should probably reflect that she's a chameleon. She is whatever you want her to be. Her identifiable features we looked at in the last video, so if you're curious to get on board, there is a Facebook group linked down below, the Berkmates Creative Outlet Facebook group. There's a pinned announcement in there with all of the information you need to know. There's some downloads as well, a cheat sheet for Daisy, all the prompt passages that we're going to use for this month, and if you want to get on board, you're totally welcome to do that. I know there are about 900,000 Inktober prompt lists out there already, so don't overwhelm yourself. If you just want to play, do one or two. If you just want to get your kids involved, if you just want to have a play with Daisy, go for gold. Also, if you are submitting to be chosen to be published in the book, I will be choosing 30 illustrations to go into publication at the end of this project. I'll be putting together a book. I think I'm going to do one of my own illustrations as well, so one of all of my my Inktober works, just so I have that for me, and then there will be the book that we're all working on together, the collaborative one, where each day will be drawn, illustrated by a different person, and I'm really excited about that too. I've already seen so many incredible versions of Daisy and literal interpretations of the prompt passages that I would never have even thought about. And it's so fun to see how people play with it. I'm just obsessed already, and I can't get enough. So thank you to everyone that literally jumped before I'd even pressed the start button on it. I've had such a blast, and I'm definitely going to pull inspiration from everything I'm seeing out there. And I want you to pull inspiration as well from what I'm doing, if that's something you want to do. If you're sitting there and you think, oh, I just don't have an idea for that, or James drew this and I would probably have drawn the same thing, please, straight up, take reference, take inspiration, or just copy if you want. I do not care. I don't mind. I would just love to see you get involved and see you have a bit of fun. Inktober last year was such an insane period for everyone to get involved, and in the Facebook group it was so fun to see how encouraging everyone was and how much everyone grew in such a short period of time. And not everyone completed all of the prompts for everything. Not everyone, did 31 Inktober pieces, and we also have the Whimsy Ween prompts list, which is my Halloween prompts list, and I work off of that very loosely for all of my Halloween themed stuff, and that keeps me really excited as well, but that's not something I commit doing every single prompt from. Inktober is the one that I commit to actually finishing. But the Whimsy Ween one, people are trying that as well, and making hybrids of that prompts list and another prompts list. I think it's such a great time for, if you were ever going to jump on a bandwagon, now is the time to do it. You don't want to try and put it off and say, oh, I'll do it another month, or I'll definitely do it in December. I mean, you kind of want to be doing it when everyone else is doing it as well, because people need a lot of accountability, myself included. Honestly, I've tried Inktober before, and it wasn't until I started filming every single video did I actually ever complete an Inktober. So my accountability is having it out there publicly in a video, and also having the project this year, the collaborative children's book project that we're doing with Daisy and her stories. I think that's what keeps me super motivated to keep going. But everyone's kind of different, and some people don't feel the need to complete it. Some people really feel the need to complete it. I will say, this was from a blog post that I put up in Patreon about Inktober and challenges I've done in the past. There's a sense of accomplishment you can only get from completing. So that doesn't mean you have to do 31. You could set yourself a goal that you could actually complete, but I think beyond learning how to ink, or draw, or create something, or art journal. I mean, essentially Inktober was created by Jake Parker for him to practice his inking skills, and for everyone to kind of practice their inking skills as well. Now, it takes on a million different forms and variations today. I mean, we can do watercolor versions of it, we can do digital versions of it, we can paint, or we can draw or sketch, or whatever you want to do. I think people just kind of got on board with the prompts idea, but essentially it's, you can get all of these great things out of it. You get a lot of practice, you get some new skills, you get better at it. But I think one of the most valuable things that you get out of completing these projects is a sense of accomplishment, because you can't underestimate how much that fuels you to drive forward. Rarely do I feel like people are super motivated to keep going or try again after having failed. I think people are more motivated to go harder, faster, stronger, further if they've completed something, because that sense of completion brings you so much joy in so many ways that you can't actually get unless you do complete. And not to say that you have to be prideful about it or arrogant about it, but I just think if I can advise you on anything, if I could give you my top tip, set your expectations to a place where you are slightly challenged, but you can complete it. Know what you're capable of, and really make an effort to go there, because I want you to feel that sense of achievement and satisfaction and all the great feelings you get from completing. I think it's just more fuel for the fire of that, passionate creativity that we all have. So that's just where I'm going to start. Essentially, I feel like I have explained Daisy before and what we're doing, but I'm illustrating the first page today. The first page is a prompt that reads, "A mushroom queen gave me spots, lots and lots of beautiful dots." So I've got, I think I went more literal than I've seen other people go. So I'm going to have to pick up my game there, but I just did a mushroom wearing a crown, and she's just giving Daisy spots. I should have researched this before I started. The prompt was loosely based off this Japanese woman who does all of her arts with dots. She literally all her art. She does installations. She goes and paints dots on everything. Like, her whole world is dots. She wears dots. She is dots. I think her name is, I want to say, Yayoi Kusama. I literally should have looked that up. I don't know why I didn't. I've mentioned this before, and I didn't even know her name that time either. So, but please forgive me. All you'd have to search is Japanese dot artist. I'm sure she'll pop up. But that was what the prompt was based off of, and ultimately I kind of wanted that prompt to be about Daisy just being completely covered in dots. I love doing patterns in hair sometimes instead of drawing lines of hair, strands of hair. I like to just do the shape of the hair and just do patterns in there, and I just imagine dots all through her hair. And she has freckles, that's one of her key characteristics, so I thought, I could put freckles all over her body this time, and her dress could just be covered in dots. And then I was just going to draw the mushroom with the dots on the mushroom, and then I thought, it'd be really fun to have them kind of showering down, just raining down all over her. And that's as far as I got in trying to figure out what the prompt meant to me. But if this prompt means something different to you, I'd love to see it. Please don't feel any pressure to post publicly if you don't want to. You can always just send me a DM on Instagram, or message me on Facebook, or find me on Etsy, wherever you want to send one of your pictures to. I would just love to look at it and draw inspiration from you as well. This is a super collaborative project, but I guess getting back to why I loved Inktober last year, the whole feel of this challenge felt super collaborative to me because I was sharing it with so many people. and so many people were sharing their versions of their projects with me, and it was just kind of this synergy that just made everyone kind of explode with creativity, and I guess that's why I'm kind of stressing that don't put it off, because especially over on the Facebook group, periods of creativity ebb and flow with all of us. And I think a lot of us have been saving ourselves for Inktober. So you kind of want to get in there and get involved whilst the iron's hot, because we might all be exhausted in November and you'll be sharing all of your stuff maybe a little too late. I don't know. I mean, it's always a great time to share in there. I've actually never seen a slow period in the group, but I want you to get involved. It's super fun. You don't have to do this at all. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Did I mention that you can copy? I do want to stress that. I think I know a lot of artists would tell you never to do that, and copyright strikes and, all of this stuff that it just honestly, the policing just gets a little too much for me. I don't have a lot of time for it. But I want you to feel encouraged to try. And I know that a lot of people will say that I got stuck, or I couldn't figure something out, or I didn't know what to draw, and then when I saw what you did, it made sense to me, and I don't want to look like I'm copying. Please, please, please do. Everyone has my permission. If someone tells you otherwise, please just link them straight to this video. You definitely have my permission to reinterpret, reproduce, be inspired by, take inspiration from. If you want to take the mushroom from this drawing and put it into a different prompt because you want some kind of continuity in your story, please just go for it. I really don't mind. And I want to encourage you that if you are going to do the whole thing, that I want you to share that book with people. I want you to be able to, if you're making this for your grandchildren or something. I know my mum is super excited and she's already trying to request extra copies because she wants to, she's decided that this is going to be her favorite book to read to her grandchildren, my nieces and nephews. So I don't know, if this is something that you want to get involved in, I think this would make such a beautiful gift for someone, and the story is all written out for you, and I'm not going to get mad that you use that story and that you illustrate it. It's exactly what I want you to do. So if if you're into that, if your family's a big creative family, or you're looking for an inexpensive but very time-consuming way to make a gift for someone, I just think this would be the bee's knees. So also, please feel free to send me your version of the book. Just soliciting presents for myself? No, please don't. I want you to do whatever you feel comfortable doing, but I did realize that, I have all the originals for these, so I don't know what I'm going to do at the end, if I'm going to offer them for purchase, or if I'm going to try and bind them and make my own book out of them. I'm in two minds about it, because as far as putting them up for sale, I never really offer a lot of original things for sale, and I did for Inktober last year, and it's so nice to see them displayed and not just in my safe little storage binder at home. So for me, I like to see them out on display, and I like to see that they're being enjoyed and that people are enjoying that. And also, I believe it's a very tangible way to grab a piece of the experience. Throughout my life, when I would hit these kind of milestones, my mum would give me some kind of token of reaching that milestone. So when I graduated high school, she had purchased me a leather tie wallet. When I had done my final dance performance for my performing arts high school, she had gifted me a leather travel wallet. Essentially all they were leather travel goods, because she knew I would start traveling when I started to work. And so she kind of commemorated those milestones of that growth period for me, or that accomplishment or achievement, by gifting me something that I could remember it for. And I see the originals of this as a way to do that, because some people are going to be different, but I really value the growth of people's creative journeys. And last year I had so many people literally just grow leaps and bounds so quickly in front of my eyes. And I'm not saying that you have to purchase them if they become available, but I do like to be able to offer that to someone, a way for them to get a very real piece of the experience that they had, to kind of commemorate that, and like a commemorative token that you would also get to display and enjoy, and I wouldn't feel guilty for sitting in my binder. But I don't know, I might bind a book out of this. I also don't know how to bind a book, so maybe I need to leave that project for another time, but we'll see how this evolves and develops. I will be back with page 2 tomorrow, and about a funny leaf that looked at Daisy pretty weird, and she's we'll see how she takes that. Until then, please keep posting away, keep me informed, keep me in the loop, show me all your great stuff, and I can't wait to see your daisies flood my social media feeds. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.